All right, it's Quinn and Canter, PYX 106, 1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com. Paul Harding from Martin Harding Mazzotti on the phone.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Like in the fantasy football commercial.
Oh, yeah, right.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
Airing during the games. Genius, Paul.
It's smart.
It's good stuff.
So, we're talking about sexual harassment in the workplace today with Paul. Here's an example. We're trying to figure out a line, what's what, and maybe you can comment on it. Like, I just left the bathroom a little while ago, and I forgot to zip my zipper up. Walking halfway down the hallway, I noticed, thank God nobody was there, especially a female, to see me zipping up my zipper, to think I was doing something weird. Is that the kind of thing that would get me in trouble?
Well, it's the kind of thing that would get you in trouble if it's a general theme of what you are doing and you kind of do it purposely if somebody were in the walkway. But, these things that happen, I guess, people, that can happen by mistake. It's happened to all of us. But the exposure really kind of would be unexplainable if you're in the hallway and something happened like that. It wasn't really even
exposed. Like, it was just the zipper, but I would feel awkward if somebody came around the corner.
We are we are hypersensitive. I feel like if I walk down the hallway and you see me and you zip it down, then I have a complaint. But, Paul, are we hypersensitive today?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I think there's so much happening, throughout Hollywood and kind of in the media right now that probably yes. Probably is going to be, is that something that I can do or say? But if you're thinking that, probably the thing to do is not do it. Play it real conservative and kind of see where this whole thing shakes out. Because
there's the answer to all of our questions right there. If you're questioning yourself whether or not it's the right thing to do, just go do something else. Just don't do it.
Don't have that conversation. Don't have that interaction. I just think that every time we turn this on, the TV on or the computer on in the morning, there's somebody new who's going to go through this. And what's the upside of this is awareness, right? The upside of this is going to be awareness, and there's going to be sort of a cleansing of this thing. And, for something like you just described, one of those things where, makes you think about it for the first time, probably, even though as innocent as it was.
Right.
And in the meantime, again, just kind of do what you think would be reasonable throughout, any interaction or anything that you do involving a female or male employee.
Paul, what's the statute of limitation on something like, an offense like that?
Right. So anytime that there's like a physical touch, you're going to have a 3-year statute of limitations for any damages. Beyond that, you look at the offense. Different states have different statute of limitations. And so often these things are far outside of the statute of limitations that we're hearing about, people going back 20 years and 30 years. But, reputationally, it's sort of like getting the word out, and I think that's probably the punishment that these folks are.
I want to check the statute of limitations in Rhode Island when we were all playing poker, and you came out of the guest room, Quinn, wearing your underwear, and you sat on my lap during the poker game.
I was asleep for my time. I'm sorry, passed out.
You woke up in your tighty whities.
I woke up in my tighty whities.
Sat on my lap.
I know.
Paul, I still have nightmares.
I felt like we were close buddies.
Probably 10 years ago, so nothing.
We were a little torn up and
call me offline. We can talk about this. Yeah.
I will. Call my therapist too.
I was under duress. That was big time.
You were.
Yeah.
So there's no laughing matter.
But okay.
Use your head, America. Use your head.
But but what if someone winks at somebody and yet somebody that was the wink-e decides to go and complain to the boss? Does the boss have to do something about that?
No, again, it's always going to be a reasonable test, but, winking and just kind of playfulness, where does it cross the line, right?
Is there a pattern, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Pattern probably seems to be the answer.
And again, is there a situation where, again, you're in a position of authority? Are you using that authority to try to get some gains? And I think that's usually a pivotal question when you look at the sexual harassment.
Ill-gotten gains. All right. Well, very good, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
I appreciate it.
Just, keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, if anything, this has got to be good for the legal world, right, Paul? A lot of business can be coming our way.
Yeah, things are popping up all over the place. Yeah, they really are. You see law firms that are kind of taking a specialty in this. And, you look online, they're just kind of doing this. I think it's becoming more aware. I think more people can have the confidence to come forward, and there will be much more litigation.
I don't think there's been an American male who hasn't sat for at least a second and reviewed his memory banks in the last couple of weeks. Just had to, you know?
I think I asked the statute of limitations question.
Right, exactly.
Hey, Paul, hang on the line because I want to talk to you about Quinn in a second. Hold on.
1-800-LAW-1010. For Cantera, it's 1-800-LAW-1011.
1-800-LAW-1010.com.
Paul Harding from Martin Harding Mazzotti. Hang on, Paul.
Quinn and Cantera, mornings on PYX 106.